Hey guys, it's Sunday. I'm at the shop, just kind of straightening things up a little bit. I wanted to do a video about what's going on in the shop and do an unboxing. So C10's done, it's there. It's on eBay, it's on Facebook Marketplace. Please go check it out. I've had a ton of inquiries about it, but no one has stopped by with any cash. So it is available still. Hopefully it'll be gone here shortly, but it is done and ready to go. And I wanted to just thank everyone for the support on YouTube. Please subscribe and do all that stuff because it's gonna help me eventually support the business, so I appreciate it. But what's going on in the shop is I have my shop truck taken apart a little bit. This is a 2008 Jeep Commander that has 187,000 miles, so it's getting new cooling system components and air conditioning components. So she got a Hemi. I love the Hemis, but it was time to get a little bit freshened up. So she's gonna get a water pump, radiator, hoses, thermostat, temperature sensor. What else? Intake parts, surge tank. So basically all of the cooling components are going to get replaced. I'm in the midst of doing that. I do have some new parts on the table, water pump and things like that. It's also getting new air conditioning components. This being Texas, it gets very hot here. Air conditioning is a must-have. So it's getting a new compressor, which goes all the way down in that corner right there, which is very difficult to get out, but I was able to do it. It's getting a new compressor, condenser, some of the lines, evaporator, and also, not that I wanted to, but a power steering cooler, because you have to take out the power steering cooler to get to the condenser, and I ended up cracking the cooler when I was trying to take it out. So I had to order a new one of those too. Yeah, so I will do a video when I start to assemble that. Just actually, a lot of the parts ended up being delivered today, which is great. So tomorrow I'm hoping to get this put back together. But I do want to start now with my videos going over the charger. So the charger is disassembled as far as I'm going to do it. I'm not doing this car really the same as I did the C10. I'm not going to disassemble it all the way down to the last nut and bolt because it really doesn't need it. This is a fairly rust-free car that was in a barn since 1980. It was taken out of the barn last year. And I've done a couple of videos just on it, but I'm gonna do some more videos. I'm rebuilding the front headlight assemblies, which are rotating assemblies with electric motors. So everything, actually the original electric motors still work from 1966, and the light bulbs that were in there since 66 were still working. And I can tell you what, any light bulb that's made today will not be working in 50 years. But light bulbs that were made in 1966 are still working. So that's got to tell you something there. I am going to freshen up the engine compartment. Again, it's a fairly rust-free situation, but it does need some freshening up. I've already started on the interior. Interior was completely disassembled, cleaned. There was one hole that I had to fix in the floor. That was I put that on Instagram. I have a lot of sound deadening on the floor, and I have to put some more back there. But all of the interior is going to get freshened up or replaced if need be. But the important thing was everything was complete. Everything was there, and it was serviceable for the most part. So, but I do have a new wiring harness for the charger, and I'm going to do an unboxing of that in this video. And I'll explain to you why there's a need for 3 different harnesses with this particular car. It's sort of a pain in the butt, but that's the way it goes. with a lot of these older cars. So let's get to the unboxing. So I'm going to do the unboxing of the painless wiring harness for the charger. Now, there are a few companies that make harnesses for these cars. Painless is one of the better ones. I use the painless harness for the C10. It is a great product, and one of the reasons why I go with painless is because every manufacturer has a different color code for their wiring, and painless, depending on if it's a GM or if it's a Chrysler or a Ford or whatever, they always have the correct colors, and that's important when you're sort of adapting things and going with a one of these older cars, because they all had different colors. So, and that's very important. So in the box, little thing to make sure you read the instructions. That's always important. And so these are just a little bit of examples of their braided loom that you can get from them. I have some, so I didn't have to order any. So they give you a heavier gauge wire for your alternator, and they give you all the connectors as well. They did the same thing for the C10 because they know that a lot of these projects that people are doing are putting modern engines and transmissions and electronics in these older cars. They're going to need things like this. So this is a great thing to have. Wiring for your wipers and for your heater. Again, these are all specifically color coded, important. And they give you all the accessories you're going to need. Zip ties, connectors, flashers, fuses, anything that you could possibly need, they give you. And they even give you, in here in this bubble wrap, is a metal plate. This metal plate will cover up the original hole in the firewall where the original fuse box went, so you can put this fuse box wherever you feel it best to be, because sometimes it doesn't go right back into the original spot. They give you a whole bunch of connectors, and then the main harness is here, and you got your fuse box here, your fuse panel. So they're all your fuses, and they are blade style fuses. Now you can get a more original type harness that has the glass fuses, but when you're dealing with newer electronics and late model engines and transmissions, you don't want to go with those older ones. So that is really cool. And then you can put this fuse box wherever you want. It doesn't need to go into the stock location. And this is a mount for the fuse box. And then you get some stickers, but most importantly is the manual. Manual is crazy important because not only does it kind of give you lots of little tips and tricks, but it's going to explain to you exactly what all of this is. Now, all the wires are labeled in nice labeling as to what they correspond to, whether it be, engine, alternator, headlights, taillights, whatever. And there's charts in here that are going to explain all that to you. So this is super duper important. And then of course, instructions as to whether or not you're going to do an older style alternator that has a external regulator, or if you're going to do a newer style one like I did on the C10 and that this car is going to get as well. So they have everybody in mind with these, and it's just a good quality product. So I did mention that this harness will get adapted to two other harnesses. The front headlight harness on this car, because it has rotating headlights and motors and all types of things, has its own separate harness that's not included with this. That I was able to order from Classic Industries. That's coming tomorrow. I do have the original harness for the headlights, and if I couldn't order a new one, I was gonna try and rebuild the original one, but I was able to get a new one. And then the tail lights, because the tail light is sort of a original piece on this car, that also needs its own harness. The harness that should have been in this car with taillights was chewed up by all the animals that were living in the barn with this car. So there wasn't much of a harness left. So I do need to order one. Classic Industries does sell it, but it's not available at this time. I think it's on back order. So hopefully I'll be able to get that soon, because I'm gonna get the wiring in this car as soon as possible.